Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I see hurricanes and lightning. I see trouble on the rise. All right, what we got? I guess I'll let Firm Chaz know I'm doing this too. Lord only knows. It's strange to see a grown man up in the morning editing a story. But here I am, just the same. All right. I'm inviting the boys to come have some coffee with me. Lord. Because not every day you get to hear the very end of a story. Let me highlight some of the people who are important. Milkness, Logic, Jira. Okay, cool. Oh Lord, it's as if I have summoned them, and they shall appear right here. Snowblind is hyphenated. Is Snowblind hyphenated? Yeah, it follows the rule. Oh, god damn it, Jira. I hadn't even looked at this chapter yet, and now I'm supposed to give out these points. Yeah, I think you got me. Big two for Jira. You are above Miss Hilder 90. Oh, there's a big Brongulus there. Look at Brongulus here with 26 points. All right, so this should be the last day of this edit. Uno más punto por Jira. I guess it would be por, not pora. I can't edit in Espanol. Although I did so I submitted a story yesterday. I guess I can say it now that they're out to Uncanny Magazine. Their deadline was yesterday. So I submitted a story where I looked through it and there were 7 different languages in the story. It had Romani, it had Moroccan Arabic, regular old Arabic, I guess I would say Egyptian Arabic, which is MSA, Modern Standard Arabic. It had French, it had Italian, it had German, and there was Spanish, and I think I said Italian already. So like 7 different discrete languages. Although Moroccan and Egyptian Arabic are just different dialects. Why? Because I could. I really just. I mean, it's done reasonably well. All the translations are footnoted and so forth. But it is a story called the Varanasi Nazarene, and it's about the Triclavian heresy, where gypsies stole the 4th nail that should have gone through his heart. And oh shit, who is David Niven? Anyhow, it's a story about a pickpocket and a priest who fall in love, and both of them are these sort of multicultural people who speak a lot of languages. And they're just constantly showing off to each other. Jira says, sounds dumb as hell. Hope they buy it for a lot of money. That's the real fantasy, Jira. That's some science fiction right there. Shit is unlikely. I don't think that they'll buy it. The reason being that that particular magazine, they want things that are more speculative fiction than that story. That story is a kind of magical realism, but it's not like there's no elves and fairies and that kind of horse shit. It's not about somebody's gender identity undergoing a transmogriphus as they're having their period or what the fuck ever. So I don't think that I'll get in. But it is a good story, and nowadays, more and more, I'm thinking that a good story that is sellable is one that women like, and women who have beta read that story like it a lot. Because it's a story of like a gigantic fat dude who buys this girl everything. So, all right. So, let me snap back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. I woke up a little late this morning. I managed to stay up until 10 o'clock last night with the help of Thai iced tea. Just ate terrible all weekend. I went to McDonald's. I went to Vietnamese food. and then I went to Japanese food, and I'm not supposed to eat any of that shit. So now I'm fat, and I'll have to be more responsible all week long and probably exercise and stuff to get back on track. So in the story, last chapter, we got to the climax of the story where Three Wolf and his bounty hunters finally found a trace of Three Wolf, and they chased him across a frozen river. And as they cheated out towards the Thalweg, they realized that the river was very thin. Bloodax, their big fat guy, they had to have him lay flat and drag him across, drag his gear across first, and then drag him across. And in the middle of that, a stampede of elk bore down on them and just obliterated the troop of bounty hunters. I think Stripes got knocked completely unconscious, and Ives and Ames both got trampled. I think Ames covered Ives with his body. Some real Brokeback Mountain shit going on there. And Flinzer got kicked in the back. Cocker's bow got broken. And then I guess Went was unhurt altogether. So good job for Wentley. What was his last name? It was like LaRue or something like that. Got on YouTube. The vibe to harsh the vibe here too. Oh man, you're a one-man army of viewbots. I'll just make you a moderator on the YouTube. When QPT finally gets desperate enough to start shilling this stream, he's usually not awake now, but eventually I'll have to have moderators in the YouTube stream so people aren't talking about the GNAA in the middle of me trying to place a semicolon. So anyhow, I want to take you to the final chapter here. Let's see. We better get a fire going quick, Flinzer ordered. He looked across the river. All the wood they'd chopped was on the wrong side. Three Wolf was gone. It was over. They lost. And so what happened is that Bloodax goes into the ice as the herd of elk is stampeding across the river. They just break through the ice. And elk don't give a shit. Elk can just swim right through a river. However, not the case for Bloodax. He goes under, and so the rope breaks. They're trying to pull him up, and Flinzer ties the rope around himself, and he's ready to dive into the rapids to go after Bloodax, even after the other men are like, no, it's done. He's gone. Then on the opposite shore, they see a pale death approach. Three Wolf, clad in polar bear fur, appears and strips to the waist and starts running across the river after them. He breaks through the ice, and to their surprise, he scoops up Bloodax, carries him onto the shore, and what does he say? I actually want to get into this thing here. You fools, go home. Let me see. What are you? Flinzer found the courage to ask. I am tired, Three Wolf said. I warn you, but you do not listen. Here is your bounty, if you want it. And then a single Indian tear comes down the side of his thing. We'll go. I'm sorry, Flinzer pleaded. Tell the others, all the men like you, spread word across the land. I am sick of this slaughter. Whatever Moraine offers, all they will ever collect is death. This is the last of my kindness. Three Wolf motioned to Bloodax at his feet. Warm him soon, or he will die. All right. This should not be a new paragraph, because it would be a new speaker there. Okay, so this is the climax of the story. Essentially, the bounty hunters get into wolf country, and Three Wolf not only hits them with a triple whammy of an elk herd stampeding them, but then he also saves Bloodax from a freezing death. And at that point, they can no longer continue their bounty hunt. So now that we have our big reveal, essentially this is a story about guys who go after this big fish and then realize that they are completely out of their league. And this is the end of the story right here. So all we have left is the mopping up in our, anticlimax here. So let's go to chapter 8. We have 10 pages to get through today. I need to get through them all, although we are starting a little late here. So I'm going to try and focus and get through it. I would like to conclude the story today. The blizzard hit halfway back. Flinzer's, let's do it. Let's do it right. Like a little ceremony here. If you're just joining the stream for the first time, I want to notify you that if I take your suggestions, your edits, your criticisms, your compliments towards my manhood, you get a point for each accepted edit. And you can see here, this is the list of all the people who have helped with this story so far. Catalyst, Pancakes, Bradius, Steven Stuff, Milkness, Choose Knowledge, Captain Ron, Jira, and Miss Hilder 90. So all these people are going to go in the acknowledgments page of the book for helping me immensely with the story. Even just by being here, you're helping me a lot. Just because I get lonely editing on my own, so it's helpful to have. I'm just such an attention whore. I have to have some kind of audience. They do it for free, but I will tell you that I am doing this for less than free because I am spending my time to be here. These books do not make money. In fact, they lose money. I will spend at least 100 and maybe 100, $150 to get this story professionally edited. Then after that fact, by the way, if anybody knows a good editor who is cheap, point them my way. After that fact, I might also pay money to license some art. And then after that, I will print out copies of these books and send them to people for free. In total, I will probably lose about $1,000 on the story before all is said and done. I will always have somebody stalking me. Fuck. Thanks for the reminder. I'm going to write a story about stalkers. Oh, I guess Gravit had stalkers in it. But I'm going to write a story about stalkers, and it's going to ring so true because I know every aspect of weird people who can't get the message. Milkness. Anyhow. All right, so let's begin. I'd like to make good progress today. Hopefully, sometimes in the last chapter, I'll be really lazy and just like blaze through trying to finish. Hopefully, I did not do that. I think I re-edited everything before whatever. So, and there is no like magic bullet. The men have definitely lost. This is the context of the story. No, it's fine. I greatly appreciate your support and everything. But let's see. Let's do it. Chapter 8. The blizzard hit halfway back. Flinzer's flock of fools stumbled into Sunnyside, snow-blind and half-frozen. Okay, so here we use flock of fools. Hopefully it's only like the third time in the story. We really overused flock before. I'm going to do a search for flock. And if there's more than 5 instances, we got a problem. 9 found. Fuck. All right. Let's do that tune-up at the very end of this. No, let's try to bring that down to like 3. We can just change it to like troop or whatever. The blizzard hit halfway back. Flinzer's flock of fools stumbled into Sunnyside, snow-blind and half-frozen. Flinzer's flock of fools stumbled into Sunnyside, snow-blind and half-frozen. The bounty was lost, but defeat brought her own consolations. Liline met the empty-handed losers with open arms and glee burning on her cheeks. Let's take out the open arms. Band is good at fools. Oh shit, it's Big Tulpa up in here. I didn't know you had a Twitch Band of Fools. I did like Band. Here I wanted them to be a flock of fools because of the association with sheep. I just don't want to overuse it throughout the story, and it's definitely overused. Like Band, Troop, Confederacy. I wish I could use Confederacy of Dunces, but O'Toole has the patent on it for right now. People will forget him, though. The bounty was lost, but defeat brought her own consolations. Liline met the empty-handed losers with glee burning on her cheeks. So here I'm keeping with open arms. Just because I like the transition from empty-handed to open arms, right? I think it's good. She fixed them a feast of pancakes, stoked an enormous fire, and put them... Are you deliberately calling defeat her? Yes. Yes, I am. It's, yeah, we are intentionally gendering defeat there. And also, it's kind of like an interesting place to use the word her there. Defeat brought her own consolation, which is a very Romance language kind of way to say it there. But essentially, like all the only consolation is feminine here. Why not switch pancakes up to rustic, like griddle cakes? That would be specific to their world, not ours. Are you getting pulled out of the story by pancakes? Feast of, I mean, we could say flapjacks. Hmm. Fix them a feast of flapjacks. She stoked an enormous fire. All right, let's do flapjacks. It does take some of the serious nutness out of there. All right, everybody's agreed with flapjacks. Pancakes is so American. All right, well, I didn't know that. Flapjacks is even more American and fucking it's Canadian when it really comes down to it. Flapjacks is just as bad. Good, good. We're sticking with flapjacks. When in doubt, we're just gonna differ on the side of alliteration. I don't like she put them up in rooms. So how can we say this? She put them up in rooms without word of payment. Instead of cool. Drop scones or just a scone. How is that better, Milkness? Like no, it's not. Like the flapjacks aren't the intent of the story. It's just like a quibble. So we want our changes to make a discrete improvement. Flapjacks is a slight improvement because it's more alliterative and is less present day American. It's less like you can't go to IHOP and get flapjacks. You can go there and get pancakes. So I think it's fair to avoid some of the language that might break people out because it's too modern. Um, I think she made eggs before too. This woman does a lot of cooking in this story. Then she issued. No, I don't want her to lead men to a bed. Cool. There we go. Fine. Let's see. Then she sent the weary men to bed without word of payment. The season was finished anyway. Flynn's ribs were only bruised, which was a blessing. He had no time to heal that night or the morning after. It was as if they were young again. They were all a long time on the mend. There we go. Flinzer and his men were a long time on the mend. Bloodax caught pneumonia and nearly drowned a second time. Went nursed him and stayed awake at the big man's side for 2 nights until his fever. Cool. Went nursed him, awake at the big man's side for 2 nights until his fever finally broke. I'm never naming a character Went again there just because of how annoying autocorrect. When the danger was past, Flinzer asked Went what passed between. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I'm already there. When the danger was past, Flinzer discreetly asked Went how he got his shiner on the black morning after they deserted. Okay, cool. So this is just a little mystery. Asked, inquired. Ooh, I like inquired better. Also, I think it would be inquired with an I in American English. Mm-hmm. Oh, I need the discreetly. Um, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Flinzer stopped by to check on them. Hmm. I can't say warthog. Snoring like a boar. The danger was past. Flinzer couldn't resist the chance to quietly inquire how Went had got his shiner. Oh, I like that a lot better. Cool. That is indeed a comma slice. Da, 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 da. You remember, like back in the day, when like Logic and Spathywah were doing so many edits on, I think it was Lemon maybe in the Electric Lady, that I had to rig a button that would just give each man a point each time. It was ridiculous. Oh, and I think every time Spathywah would get a point, I had a fucking sound effect that would play. It was like, oh, memories of edits long gone past. The danger was past. Flinzer couldn't resist quietly inquiring how Wen had got his shiner on the black morning when both men deserted. Okay. I like the black morning. Cool. There was a Mario coin sound. Oh, I gotta add the. I think the Mario coin sound is worth bringing back. Boing. All right, I will. I'll do it. What I'm gonna do, and I'm sorry for this, but I'm just gonna do it. I am going to add some of those slot machine mechanics to this, like Vampire Survivors and stuff. If you haven't played that game, it's basically a guy who used to build slot machines in Vegas, and he just made like the most addictive flashing lights, stimulus, and stuff like that. He just used all the psychological tricks to keep people caught in a loop of playing this dumb game, and I've learned a lot from playing it. So we could have like flashing lights and sound effects and shit. I'm sure that would really add to the gravity of these proceedings. Anyhow, let's read through this. Flinger stopped by the next morning to see how they were doing and found. Okay, so we're in what did we say this was, like past participle, snoring like a boar. Went's eyes were bloodshot. Bloodax was serenely. Flinzer couldn't resist quietly inquiring how Wen had got his shiner on the black morning when both men deserted. I see a spare space. It has been erased. I called him a lummox, Went admit. Up there, and his name is not Went. I called him a lummox, Went admit. Flinzer shook his head in sympathy. He'd seen many men get under Bloodux's skin with the same cheap shot. He'd seen many men get under Bloodux's skin with the same cheap shot. They'd all caught far worse than a black eye. Wentley was lucky to be alive. Okay, cool. So, yeah, he doesn't like being called a lummox. No, I don't like badly busted up. Ives and Ames were beaten to bits. Ames was a canvas of bruises, and it was several days, but Ames and Ives were beaten to bits. Oh no, this beaten to bits isn't right. All right, there we go. La da 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 da. Ames and Ives were more dead than alive. Ames was a canvas of bruises. It was several days before he stopped passing blood. Ives fretted after him incessantly. Flinzer split his time between the autumn paramour and Stripes. Stripes was in such a stupor. Let's find. I like Steadfast. Steadfast Stripes was in such a stupor, Flinzer feared he'd be dim-witted till the end of his days. I feel like there should be some conclusion to it right there. Ames and Ives were more dead than alive. Ames was a canvas of bruises. It was several days before he stopped passing bloods. And we say something about the. I wonder if there's an I word that starts with. Oh yeah, I like that. Indebted Ives. Indebted Ives ignored his own injuries and fretted after Ames incessantly. Ames was a canvas of swollen and mottled bruises. Um, Canvas of bruises. Let's see if there's a B word that would serve the work of there. Let's see. Oh, I actually like. Look at this one. Look at this one. Oh no. Oh. Ames was a collage of contusions. It was several days before he stopped passing blood. Oh yeah. Mm. 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 Oh. I could even call him a discolored collage of contusions. No, no, no. Oh, we're doing it. Indebted Ives ignored his own injuries and fretted after Ames incessantly. Flinzer split his time between his autumn paramour and Stripes. Steadfast Stripes was I like that all through this chapter they're getting what do you call the like insightful Telemachus? The adjective before the name that almost becomes titular. Um so I know that in like iambic hexameter or whatever, there's a name for the one that's there just for syllabic balance. But I feel like there's a word for where it almost becomes their moniker, like Fat Freddy or something like that. I'd like to know, but I'm not gonna get through 10 pages if I keep looking into it. If anybody knows off the top of their head, uh, it sounds like you're talking about Flinzer having a boyfriend. I also don't know the answer to that, but um, first position attributive adjectives before a name, eponymous adjectives. Oh, derived from the name, derived from the Grothendieck adjectives before a personal name. Attribute. Well, it is an attributive adjective, but I think that there is a singular word that has the meaning of an attributive adjective that gives you like a distinct characteristic of the person. Um, you comment on the YouTube if you're watching this later, and you know, because I want to know. But um, so we could say that he splits his Flinzer split his time between his. What time is he splitting? He's like splitting his care. Um, Flinzer split his time between his autumn paramour and Stripes. Steadfast Stripes was in such a stupor, comma. Flinzer feared he'd be dim-witted till. Okay, so this comma is taking the place of the word that there. An identifier? I guess so. That's like a little clinical. I like split his time a little better than split his attention is good there. That could Flinzer split his attention between his autumn paramour and Stripes. Flinzer split his time. Attention is good there. Cool. Because I think attention conveys a little bit more of the fact that he's paying attention to them. Let's give Milkness one there too, because I think she was the one that said that there was a lack of clarity as to whether or not they were fucking. They're not. Stripes is retarded at this point. He can't consent. Steadfast Stripes was in such a stupor, Flinzer feared he'd be dim-witted till the... I don't like that till there. No, that till has to stay. You didn't point me for inquire earlier. All right, let's give you the point for inquire. Let me see there. Each night, Flinzer sat with him beside the fire and retold tales. Oh, no. Okay, so here, I said in the chat, points don't matter. I don't know. Let's see. Each night, Flinzer sat... Oh, right. Steadfast Stripes was in such a stupor, Flinzer feared he'd be dim-witted till the end of his days. Steadfast Stripes was in such a stupor, Flinzer feared his friend might be dim-witted till the end of his days. Ooh. Oh, that's exactly what it needed there. Each night, Flinzer sat beside him with... Okay, so this is a place where I want the same word. I want both occurrences of told to be there. Each night, Flinzer sat beside the fire with Stripes and told tales he'd told so many times he couldn't remember what was true and what was embellished. These are long-ass sentences, and I'm not seeing places for commas to be in here. It seemed to work. Another thing that I like in the story is that we're treating the concussion that Stripes received like very seriously. Like this is like a real like I smoke PCP. I've got CTE. He has like a traumatic cranial injury, and like in the story, it's just described as he gets kicked in the back of the head by an elk, right? But we are treating it like like somebody who had a serious concussion, and they're not the same after that. Flinzer's story has got Stripe's synaptic plasticity active again. What a good troop leader. And it's not like he has any training in medicine or whatever, or they know anything about concussions. They're just like, what can I do? And he just keeps telling them stories. It seemed to work. After 2 weeks, Stripe came around. Oh, this is... After 2 weeks, Stripes came around. When I come around. And was more like himself. Sometimes, he'd stop dead and stare. Sometimes he'd stop dead and stare, but it was to be expected. His skull had nearly cracked in half, after all. Ooh, I like it. Yeah, I like that we take some time dealing with like the long-term effects, because I think there's going to be something of the reader being like, hey, they were like right at Three Wolf. Why didn't they like fight the guy or whatever? Or how could they get so far and turn around? And I like to get across just like how badly beat up they all were. Like they're all about to die. Cocker left as soon as the storm let up, with heady talk of starting a new company. Flinzer wished him well and meant it. They were sad to see him go and relieved when he left. We don't need that comma. They were sad to see Cocker go and relieved when he left. It was a long, cooped-up season of recovery and renewal. Liline kept the men hopping with chores and repairs so they didn't have time to get sick of each other. All right, cool. It was a long, cooped-up season of recovery and renewal. Liline kept the men hopping with chores and repairs so they didn't have time to get sick of each other. Flinzer led them on ice fishing expeditions, painfully aware they were eating Liline out of house and home. Liline kept them all hopping with chores and repairs so they didn't have time to get sick of each other. Flinzer led his men on ice fishing expeditions, painfully aware they were eating Liline out of house and home. When they went out on the lake, Bluddock stayed behind. The big man was understandably unwilling to ever set foot upon ice again. Wait, are the men in any condition? So this is okay. This is a good point here. Okay, the winter wore on. That's all we need. Just that the one winter wore on establishes that time is passing here. There we go. Cool. Perfect. All right, and that's definitely worth a point there because those are exactly the types of things that I want. I want to know when the reader is like, "Hey, I thought that they were just, they were too hurt to do anything," and so especially difficult is keeping track of when you need these like passages of time type things to indicate like, "Hey, days are passing." I one of the reasons why I only write linear narratives is just I'm not like the master of time and space in my writing. So all my stories are pretty much like point A to point B. One of the things that we could do with Three Wolf is like chop. Let me see. Oh no. Yeah, I saw. Well, I'm giving you both a point. Just because Milkness actually drew my attention, but Bradius had said it there. Let me see. I need this to be there. Okay, cool. So more in my peripheral vision. That's why. I couldn't see the increment of the chat from where there's just like a laptop sitting right there that has all your chats on it, and they're big as fuck because I'm old and my eyes are failing. But better my eyes than other places. Still working fine. They're actually like in really good shape for how old I am at this point. Like laser vision correction is tits perfect. I highly advise everybody get it. Because I got zapped. The winter wore on, a long cooped up season of recovery and renewal. Liline kept them all hopping with chores and repairs so they didn't have time to get sick of each other. Flinzer led his men on ice fishing expeditions, painfully aware they were eating Liline out of house and home. So eating Liline out of house and home is a cliche, right? But in this particular case, we're going to keep the cliche in. And the reason being is because Roma only lived 50 years. Like, that's as long as we get. Like, we just die after that. So I'm, you got to realize that we're like aging 2 years for everyone. Let me see there. Flinzer led his men on an ice fixing expedition. So here we're doing that because of the peculiar situation where Lillian's cottage is like a warehouse, right? So for the reader, there's like a clever second, I guess not clever, but there is a second meaning to the cliche there. So what do we got here? When they went out on the lake, Bloodock stayed behind. The big man was understandably unwilling to ever set foot upon. The big man was understandably unwilling to ever again set foot upon ice. The big man was understandably unwilling to set foot upon ice ever again. What? No, this is... The big man was understandably unwilling to set foot upon ice again. The big man was understandably unwilling to venture onto the ice ever again. No. Oh, this is hard to get right. Let's just stick with that. That's all I got. The big man was understandably unwilling to set foot upon ice ever again. Even snowbound for weeks, the men barely squabbled. They were lucky to be alive, and they knew it. As winter dwindled, Lillian's mood darkened. Flinzer supposed she was sick of him. Flinzer had hunted men his whole life. He'd never had a wife and could not understand why things had gone so sour. One windy night in her cottage, they tipped one too many back, and a trifling remark blew out. One windy night in her cottage, they tipped one too many back. All right. One windy night in her cottage, they tipped too many back. They tipped back one too many. All right, there we go. That's a little better. They tipped back one too many. A trifling remark blew into an all-out argument. Finally, she let him have it. You'll leave me in the spring, Lillian accused. Flinzer was taken aback. He'd mulled it all season and thought he meant to stay. But as soon as she said the words, he knew it was true. But as soon as Lillian said the words, he knew it was true. She'd sniffed out his restlessness before... She'd sniffed out his restlessness before he fully realized it himself. Flinzer was unsatisfied. A pall of unfinished business hung over him. Flinzer was unsatisfied. A pall of unfinished business hung over him. Lillian knew him better than he did. Lillian knew Flinzer better than he did, and that made him double the fool for leaving him. Woo. All right, let's go this. Flinzer was taken aback. He'd mulled it all season and thought he meant to stay. But as soon as Lillian said the words, he knew it was true. She'd sniffed out his restlessness before he... Well, that's hard to say. She'd sniffed out his restlessness before he fully realized it himself. Flinzer was unsatisfied. A pall of unfinished business hung over him. Lillian knew Flinzer better than he did, and that made him double the fool for leaving her. She read it all in his face. Just go. Lillian shut her eyes tight and turned away as if she'd been slapped. For a big woman, comma. For a big woman, she cried small, sniffles and little sobs. The sound made him want to walk out into the woods, cover himself. The sound made Flinzer want to walk out in the woods, cover himself with snow, and vanish into the earth. But what could he do? Lie to her? Stick it out for a season or so, blot it out with drink until he couldn't take it anymore? So some of this should be in italics. I can hear Free Bird playing in the background. Oh, God. Oh, God. They sat on stools facing away from each other. The wind rattled the whole cottage. They sat on stools, facing away from each other as wind rattled the cottage. Flinzer wondered what the hell was wrong with him. The land... Let's see. Lillian is the one who says go. Just go. All right, there we go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. I don't like... Oh, it was confusing there? Okay, cool. Then we have to have... Just go, Lillian sobbed. She shut her eyes tight and... Just go, Lillian wept. She shut her eyes tight and turned away as if she'd been slapped. For a big woman, she cried small, sniffles and little sobs. All right, yeah. Because she is weeping here, and they're drunk, right? So their reactions can be a little bit bigger than they should be. They sat on stools, facing away from each other as wind rattled the cottage. Flinzer wondered what the hell was wrong with him. The land was unreasonably beautiful here, far from every foe who remembered his face. Oh, we can't do face. Who remembered his name. He had food, shelter, lovely company. A second... Okay, cool. Okay, and then who gets the point there? Okay, cool. So Brongulus, Bradius. Oh, up to 30. Good lord. Burning up the charts. Why not? Face works. It doesn't work as well as remembering his name. Far from every foe who remembered his face. The land was unreasonably beautiful here, far from every foe who remembered his name. For some reason, the word name has more resonance at the end of that line. So the alliteration is only if it is equally as resonant as another word. He had food, shelter, lovely company. So we're omitting the and here, just for diction purposes. Or what is diction what I want? Not cadence purposes. I'm always confusing cadence and diction. It was a second chance he surely didn't deserve. Mm-hmm. I was already there. Too fast for you. Yet his pride could not abide going out on 4 losses in a row. A core of discontent churned inside him. A core of discontent burned inside him. He could not rest, could not finish. He could not rest. A core of discontent burned inside him. He could not finish out his days in slow, seeping failure. Though his road had nearly run out, he was bound to return. You fools, go home. All right, what is. All right, so rewrite the intro, have his fear slipping in the long line of horrors he would have gotten through up to this point. Don't fall into the premonition trap, but maybe more the notion that his luck is running out. Maybe they feel cursed. Um, that was something. I don't think I'm actually going to do that there. I don't want it to be a. It is a common. It's a trope in like bounty hunter narratives. It's like I feel like this is the one where my luck is running out and so forth. And it doesn't really fit with like the sort of blithe character of Flinzer up into this point. Though his road had nearly run out, he was bound to return. Flinzer stopped at his own. Flinzer stopped at his own stupidity and felt a. So here we have like a flashback to Three Wolf, and I don't think it's. I'm gonna take it out. No, he's sobbing. Would a man like that sob? He absolutely would. Oh my god, like that's the thing. You know, men are just fucking butter before women. Like things that will make men sob are like women, fucking dog dying, and getting kicked in the yarbles. That's about it. And I guess like the death of a parent or something like that. If you're a pussy. I digress. Yeah, I'm not. No. Flinzer sobbed at his own stupidity and winced at the pang in his ribs. Almost spring, and they still ached. So there. Almost spring, but they still ached. He was dragged back to the black. He was dragged back to the day they almost died over 100 measly ducats. Pitiful bounty men, alive at the mercy of their quarry. Flinzer could not let it go. Let me see. He was dragged back to the day they almost died over 100 measly ducats.
Pitiful bounty men, alive at the mercy of their quarry. He couldn't let it go. Now his heart raced when he heard wolves off in the hills. Many nights Flinzer woke cold and found he'd kicked off the sheets as he drowned in his dreams. He remembered those blue eyes burning in the night, and he was afraid. When he abandoned Liline, it would not be for pride, nor for fortune. If he abandoned Liline, it would not be for pride, nor for fortune. It would be a retreat. Cowardice would curdle the sweetness he'd found.
Ooh. That is a good point. It was a night when the finale occurred. No, it doesn't track the same. No, I do not mean the wolf. Right? I mean Three Wolf right there, really and truly. So there is a scene where they see like his eyes reflecting in the night, and they are a terrible blue. Okay. So even though it happened at night, it was still during a day, right? So we can get away with it. Now his heart raced when he, ooh, oh no. Yeah. Now Flinzer's heart raced when he heard wolves off in the hills. He woke, cold, and found he'd kicked off the sheets as he drowned in his dreams. He remembered those blue eyes burning in the night, and he was afraid. Oh, there. He remembered the giant's blue eyes burning in the night, and he was afraid. If Flinzer abandoned Liline, it would not be for pride, nor for fortune. It would be a retreat. Cowardice would curdle the sweetness he'd found. Flinzer decided. He stood up so fast the stool toppled. Sheepish, he righted it and began to dress. His fingers fumbled, but his head was sober with purpose. He buckled on his sword belt. Please, don't leave me. I didn't mean it, Liline wailed. Her eyes went wet. Oh, no. Please, don't leave me. I didn't mean it, Liline wailed. Her eyes went wet. Okay, cool. No. It's too much, right? Needs comma woke cold. Oh, I found that myself. Nice. Cool. Please, don't leave me. I didn't mean it, Liline wailed. Tears streaked her cheeks. Tears trailed down her cheeks. I just want to use trailed here. Tears trailed down her cheeks. She tried to block the door, but she could barely stand. Mm-hmm. No. Oh, it looks so wrong there. Right? The two commas look so bad. Let's look at it. He woke, cold.
He woke cold. So, yeah, he woke is saying, like, when, all right, fuck, yeah, it's got to be there. It looks wrong. You need both or neither. You can't do it with one. I feel you. He would wake cold. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Okay. I don't like the way that it looks, but the pause is solid. Like in terms of the narration, he woke cold, and yeah, if we're using the comma as just like a narrative indicator of a pause, is good. Oh, we have to have the comma there too. Please don't leave me. I didn't mean it, Liline wailed. Tears trailed down her cheeks. Liline tried to block the door, but she could barely stand. They were really quite drunk. This is a comma splice. Flinzer carried her over to the bed. She tried to pull him in with her, but he drew back. Don't go. He put a kiss on her brow, blew out the lamp, and walked out into the bitter wind. The end. Da-dum-dum. So what did you think about Three Wolf?
Quite a tale, no?
Oh. Yeah, it's you say OMG? No, it's good, right? It's a good spot to end the whole deal. Is he going to go after Three Wolf again? You, the reader, will have to decide. No, what if we had another chapter? Chapter 9. Why do they call you Three Wolf? Flinzer asked. Why not? The giant rumbled. Up close, his eyes were brighter, and his frame was larger than Flinzer remembered. Because I count 9 wolves, not 3. Flinzer fought to keep his voice even. Okay. 9 sets of hungry amber eyes watched him from between the birch. The wolf pack had shadowed Flinzer for leagues. All right, so that's a space. I was thinking more that he'd go after Marini. Flinzer fought to keep his voice even. 9 sets of hungry amber eyes watched him from between the birch. The wolf pack had shadowed Flinzer for leagues. Every step he took was at their mercy. Mm-hmm. It would be a major dick move. Flinzer fought to keep his voice even. 9 sets of hungry amber eyes watched him from between the birch. The wolf pack had shadowed Flinzer for leagues. Every step he took was at their mercy. If the pack attacked, he might tell... Yeah, there we go. If the pack attacked, Flinzer's sword might claim 1 or 2. But he was only one man. They could drag him down if they wanted. Mm-hmm. Let's see. But he was only one man. They could drag him down if they wanted. Comma. Oh, do I need a comma before if? They could drag him down. Yeah, yes, I do. They could drag him down if they wanted. Instead, the wolves kept close watch and let him slog on unmolested. I love slog on unmolested, by the way. It was a long, cold way to the ancient clearing. Three Wolf was waiting for him there, shadowed before the northern yew. The night was quiet now. The moon was high. The skull meant to represent Flinzer was still tracked on the tree. The wind had trimmed away its beard of moss. I used to have 3 wolves. That obelisk used to stand straight. These yew were saplings once. Men didn't used to be so stupid. In the old days, if I spared a man, he was wise enough to never return. Alas, Flinzer said. Three Wolf drew the great sword from his back. In the shadow, the Damascene silver... Oh. So Damascene, I can't get away with this. Yeah. That's 2. There used to be 3. Well, so... The problem is that we have so much description in between here. Because I count 9 wolves. So we... There used to be 3 wolves. Okay, yeah. So we... You think that's a stronger reply? I think you need to have wolves there to like jog the reader back because we have a whole paragraph of backstory or flashing back, which is rough. It really is a bad habit that I have. Like starting a scene and then explaining how we got to the scene. It's not no bueno, but anyhow, there used to be 3 wolves. That obelisk used to stand straight. Okay, cool. So Three Wolf is, I like here that he's talking about the passage of time. There used to be 3. I could just put in parentheses, wolves. All right, I'm gonna give that to you. Rongulus. There used to be 3 wolves. That obelisk used to stand straight. These yew were saplings once. Men didn't used to be so stupid. In the old days, if I spared a man, he was wise enough to never return. Alas, Flinzer said. Three Wolf drew the great sword from his back. In the shadow, the silver... Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm fine. Good writers do it all the time. They do it all the time, but they don't do it every fucking chapter. And like in the whole process of rewriting, often, because it's how I'm like doing the actual writing. I like start somewhere and then I justify how I'm getting to the position there. And if you do it every single chapter, it is so wearying for the reader because their focus is jumping back and forth. So often I find I have to go back and edit out the part. But there is kind of like a trick there too, where you're like telling somebody what they're going to see and then you're revealing it, which can be good. In any case, Three Wolf drew the great sword from his back. Types of big swords. Let's see. Classifications of sword. I would like it to be like a claymore or something like that, but these are too fancy. Zweihander. We can't get away with the same way that we can't use Damascene. Because so what I wanted to have was something about how the blade is like swirled.
um, which is like you can't say Damascus steel in a world where there's no Damascus. So Damaskene means world in that way, but it's too close to whatever. Let's see. Yeah, there we go.
In the twilight, the silver blade seethed with a crimson glow. Flinzer shriveled at the sight. Let's get on with it. Flinzer drew his own utterly mundane sword, as insufficient as a toothpick against Three-Wolf's masterwork blade. He tossed it into the dirt. Three-Wolf tilted his head. I'm no match for you. I didn't walk this far just to die. Then why? I have a proposition for you, Flinzer offered.
Ooh. Yeah, this works. Yeah, we can't just call it a longsword. It's because he's 9 feet tall, so his sword is big as fuck. The story ends just there. No more chapters. All right. There's obviously you can see that there are more chapters. Oh, I'm such an asshole. Is this like the third reversal here? It let me know if that is insufferable, right? Because it is like point, counterpoint, point. Okay.
One fine summer morning, a familiar murder of crows stole the sun for the entire. Oh no! One fine summer morning, a familiar murder of crows stole the sun for an entire day. One fine summer morning, a familiar murder of crows stole the sun for the entire day.
No, we don't need the entire day.
Oh, I love it. One fine summer morning, a familiar murder of crows stole the sun and refused to release it. Their mischief persisted deep into the night. Crows beyond counting cawed and cavorted above Skyward Keep until Old Man Moraney went half mad.
Oh, love. Oh yeah. No, I'm already there.
Enraged, Old Man Moraney ordered every crow shot down. His bowmen dutifully loosed into the darkness, but it was just a waste of arrows. The crows climbed out of reach and clawed. Oh no! Oh, the crows climbed out of reach and cawed all the louder. At dawn, Moraney walked to his spattered ramparts. Lids drooped with
All right, I got. I just made a wish with an eyelash. You can guess what I wished for.
Enraged, Old Man Moraney ordered every crow shot down. His bowmen dutifully loosed into the darkness, but it was just a waste of arrows. The crows climbed out of reach and cawed all the louder. At dawn,
and this needs a new paragraph, and then we have to indent.
At dawn, Moraney walked his spattered ramparts. Lids drooped with sleepy disdain.
Oh, we don't need sleepy. Okay. Cool. Disdain versus disgust. Okay, so we took that out. No, disdain is what I want. Yeah, absolutely. He's not disgusted by bird shit. He's disdainful that they failed.
Lids droop with disdain. For the second day, the sunrise was obscured by a boundless bevy of blackbirds. Moraine sniffed and spat. The crows could not keep this up forever. If Three Wolf thought that he could spook Lord Malorn Moraine with a bit of overwrought oh no. With a bit of overwrought ornithomancy, he was dead wrong. Oh no. If Three Wolf thought he could spook Lord Malorn Moraine with this overwrought ornithromancy, he was dead wrong. They'd have blackbird pie and wait for the next crop of bounty hunters to turn up. Three Wolf was surely slipping. He hadn't even killed the last batch. Flimsy Flinzer and his bumbling flunkies disparted. Oh no!
Bird blood or arrows or whatever. Yeah. No, like so throughout the story, no animals die. I'm just putting it out there. They are that is the fantasy. I just want to add that what you're calling blackbirds are actually GNU plus corvids, or what I've taken to calling, like fuck off. No, I want it to be all there. Oh yeah, fumbling flunkies. Oh yeah. Oh, that's even better. All right, so I'm giving you that point there. Oh, let's see. 33 is so much better than 32. Don't make any more edits. No, definitely make more edits if we need them.
Flimsy Flinzer and his fumbling flunkies departed in disgrace months ago, comma.
There we go. You got to ham it up towards the end. Oh, yeah. Well, I think overwrought ornithromancy is... It's so bad that I might actually consider taking it out of there. So with a bunch of birds. Oh, that's better. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just not. It's not ornithomancy. Just takes you right out of the story. Damn it! You are lucky. This thing is editing my swearing at you. I don't even think I have a word filter on. Let me see.
If Three Wolf thought he could spook Lord Malorn Moraine with a bit of bird shit, he was dead wrong.
That's going to be maybe the only curse in the story.
They'd have blackbird pie and wait for the next crop of bounty hunters.
And then if we do like a, so maybe we'll it's not posting some of my entries at all that contain swear words. All right, well I'll look into the default chat settings on there. But yeah, just keep it clean. There are kids watching. Milkness. No, just you could try just posting them in the Twitch or what have you, but I can't fix it online. Or I can't fix it while we're doing this.
He was dead wrong. They'd have blackbird pie and wait for the next crop of bounty hunters to turn up. They'd have blackbird pie and wait for the next crop of bounty hunters to arrive. Three Wolf was surely slipping. He hadn't even killed the last batch. Flimsy Flinzer and his bumbling flunkies departed in disgrace months ago.
I told you to fuck off before you told me to fuck off after the blackbird thing. And it didn't get through, see? Owned. So here's a question.
Flimsy Flinzer and his bumbling funkies had departed in disgrace
months ago.
We'll see indeed, Moraine sneered. His cackle became an ack as a brazen crow swooped down and knocked off his lordly hat. A retainer scooped it up and tried to put it back on Morani's head. But he slapped the churlish servant. The velveteen coif was streaked with leavings. Do you think? Yeah, I think we need the hat. Okay, thank you for. There we go. Oh, sadly, I think 34. Okay. Yeah. We'll see indeed, Morani sneered. His cackle became an ack as a brazen crow swooped down and knocked off his lordly hat. A retainer scooped it up and tried to put it back on Morani's head, but he slapped the churlish servant. The velveteen coif was streaked with leavings. Go wash that, Morani howled. His far-sighted eyes spied motion on the road. He hoped it was more hunters. Three Wolf's head would ride a pike soon enough. Go wash that, Morani howled. His far-sighted eyes spied motion on the road. He hoped it was more bounty hunters. Three Wolf's head would ride a pike soon enough. Yeah. He hoped it was more bounty hunters. Morani's sentries ought to have sounded the horn, but they were worthless, hiding inside to keep their uniforms clean. Incensed, Morani howled for his looking-glass. An aide hastened to his side, and he sheltered beneath an awning. Incensed, Morani howled for his eyepiece. An aide hastened to his side with I don't know if you can use telescope and looking glass interchange. Let me see the meaning of eyepiece. Oh, go look at all these fucking. All right, let's look. Oh, okay. So the eyepiece is just the looking end of the whatever. It doesn't work. Let's see. Uh, no. Okay. Mm-hmm. Uh, yeah. Binoculars for only. Yeah, I'm aware of what a looking glass is. Moraine yanked the precious telescope from his hands, sheltered beneath an awning, and peered down the road. That's a lot of work. Yeah, this is what he's getting. One of those. Oh. uh, this is exactly what he's grabbing. Yeah, it's just we would have to have like a repetition of it. Let's see. Incensed, Moraine howled for his spyglass. An aide hastened to his side. Moraine yanked the precious. A flustered aide hastened to his side. Moraine yanked the precious telescope. Do we have another flustered? A nervous aide hastened to his side. Moraine yanked the precious telescope from his hands, sheltered beneath an awning, and peered down the road. It was bounty hunters, all right. Familiar green eyes glinted as the graybeard waved at him. Flinzer! Moraine's miserly heart skipped a beat. Had they got their mark? Was that what the crows were cawing about? Yeah, I anxious aid. Oh, I like anxious better. That's much better. Oh, I like that. Precious telescope. There we go. Telescope I don't want. There we go. Yeah. Incensed, Moraine howled for his scope. An anxious aide hastened to his side with the precious spyglass. All right, let's try that again. Incensed, Moraine howled for his scope. An anxious aide hastened to his side with this precious spyglass. Moraine yanked it from his hands, sheltered beneath an awning, and peered down the road. It was bounty hunters, all right. Familiar green eyes glinted as the graybeard waved at him. It was bounty hunters, all right. It was bounty hunters, all right. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, there's a comma. It was bounty hunters, all right. Familiar green eyes glinted back at Moraine as the graybeard waved at him. Flinzer! Moraine's miserly heart skipped a beat. Had they got their mark? Was that what the crows were cawing about? Was Three Wolf dead at last? All right, this is all italics. With regret, the landlord recalled how that eel's arse... Aris? With regret, the landlord recalled how that eel's arse Flinzer had pried an oath from him before witnesses. What bother? He'd have to actually pay the bounty. No, what bother is no good. There we go. Yeah. Then Moraine smirked and remembered he had a plan for this contingency. 100 completely convincing counterfeit Cimmerian coinfish. Moraine cracked a crenellated smile. Oh, I love the callback to the counterfeit coin fish. Oh, the crenellate, like when you're talking about a fantasy story, like crenellated comes into play because like crenellations are like the ramparts of this very keep would be crenellated. Uh, and we talked earlier about how there are like gaps in his teeth and so forth, so I can get away with it. But yeah, what a sentence. With regret, the landlord recalled how that eel's arse flinzer. Oh yeah. Crenellated is just like like if you would think of it as like square cutouts in laser cutting. Also, the like tabs are what you use to like stick boxes and I don't do it because I'm fucking lazy, but I just glue everything and clamp it. Yeah, Tetris Ramparts. It would be like let me see if I can do this. Mm-hmm. No, no, it doesn't work. All right, well, crenellated has two L's. Why isn't it? Both check as correct. It may be a British English thing. Yeah, so crenellated is cleft. And let's try with two L's. No, you wrong, son. You're wrong. Although both detect is right. It might be like one of those British English things. Um, let's take a look for which is more appropriate. Crenellated with two L's. Alternative forms are crenellated. Crenellate, having crenellations are. I gotta tell you, I think the two L's make it clearer what it is. Right when I'm just looking at the word, um, it makes more sense. Which is more common? I actually want to say that you are. All right, let's go to the Ngram viewer. Two L's is substantially more common, but was not always so. Back in the 1900s, crenellated was there. Um, so how right are you? You were right by like almost an order of magnitude. Okay. But usually I know when I'm unsure and shut up unless certain. I was just surprised to see you wrong there, actually. The other thing, too, is that to my mind, when I look at crenellated with one L, I don't immediately understand what it is. And when I see with two L's, it is easier to pronounce the word because you have two L's in the crenellated, right? So it makes sense. Both of those L's are doing work in the word. I think it's a good edit there. Um, so even though we could get away with both, this would be my preference. So good point. With regret, the landlord. Okay, cool. With regret, the landlord remembered the dickering at the drawbridge. I like that we have both um, dickering and then an eel's arse. That oily eel's arse. Yeah. That eel's arse, Flinzer had pried an oath from him before witnesses. God, that would be so fucking slimy. I have, I never even seen an eel's asshole, but they are some slimy cocksuckers. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, apologies for any cheering that may be in the chat, Milkness.
That eel's arse, Flinzer. Uh,
Okay. I think you have to do slippery as an eel's arse. I think you have to have the full form of it. You scrub them with handfuls of sand to make them more manageable. I didn't know that. Holy shit. Eel. I mean, it's good meat. I like that eel.
Slippery as an eel's arse, Flinzer had pried an oath from him. With regret, the landlord remembered the dickering at the drawbridge. Slippery as an eel's arse, Flinzer had pried an oath from him, before witnesses. Moraine would have to actually pay the bounty. Then he smirked. He remembered he had a plan for this contingency.
The sand thing is clever, though. I would have never thought of that.
All right. 100 completely convincing counterfeit Cimmerian coinfish. Moraine cracked a crenellated smile.
Nice. I like that he, even here, it has like a shitty plot. He's not a redeeming character at all.
Flinzer would be 100 leagues away before he realized he'd been had. Moraine wrung his spyglass, trying to see if he could make out Three Wolf's head. Hadn't there been 7 of them? Moraine distinctly remembered that number from the dithering.
Okay. So it's weird to use figure in place of number here, but I think it will track better.
Hadn't there been 7 of them? Moraine distinctly remembered that figure from dithering over the divvy on the drawbridge.
Okay, we don't need the drawbridge because we harken back to it there.
Double that number were marching up the hill. No, thrice that. They kept coming. 100 men were mustered at the top of the path. Perhaps they meant to claim a coin apiece, but Rainey saw no giant's head among them. They must have some. They were here to make trouble. The bounty men were here to make trouble. It did not matter. With their garrison of...
Oh, I like this much better.
Moraine distinctly remembered that figure from dithering over the divvy. Double that number were marching up the hill. No, thrice that. They kept coming. 100 men were... Soon 100 men were mustered at the top of the path. Perhaps they meant to claim a coin apiece, but Moraine could not see any sign of the giant's head. These bounty men were here to make trouble. It did not matter. With her garrison of 40 defenders, Skywark Keep could repel 1,000 scruffy bounty hunters. These mercenaries were here to make trouble. As he peered through the crowd, Moraine recognized other unfriendly faces. There were many men who had stood on the bad end of the drawbridge, just as Flinzer had. Okay. Nice. Oh, I'm actually loving this conclusion so far. It did not matter. With their garrison of 40 defenders, Skywark Keep could repel 1,000 scruffy bounty hunters. As he peered through the crowd, Moraine recognized other unfriendly faces. There were many men who had stood on the bad end of the drawbridge, just as Flinzer had. The Greybeard had gathered the survivors from a dozen other bands. "Raise the drawbridge! Sound the alarm! Raise the garrison!" Moraine shouted to be heard above the crows. A page beat the alarm bell, and they All right, there we go. Scrape together the survivors. Oh, I like that. The Greybeard had gathered the survivors from a dozen other bands. The Greybeard had scraped together the survivors. Oh, scrape together is better. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a good one. Up to big 15. Let's see, that's so much rounder than 14. And 14 is my least favorite ball to sink in 8-ball, by the way. It was always unlucky for me. And straight pool is fine, just an 8-ball. Rather have solids. That's very autistic, by the way, to even go there. "Raise the drawbridge. Sound the alarm. Rouse the garrison," Moraine shouted to be heard above the crows. A page rattled the alarm bell. A page rang the alarm bell. Skywark Keep surged into a clangor of rattling spears and clanking armor. Skywark Keep rose in a roar of rattling spears and clanking armor. Bowmen raced into position. Whatever folly Flinzer's rabble intended was bound to break against the stout walls of Skywark and wither beneath a hail of arrows. The mercenaries could block the western road, but Moraine could simply summon reinforcements from the east. They had provisions to outlast months of siege. Indeed, the opposing army made no move towards the keep. They sat in the shade and waited. What was their game? Moraine spied a team of 4 white beasts trundling up the path. A team of 4 great white beasts. A team of 4 immense white beasts. A team of 4 white behemoths trundled up the switchback path. Yes, they are indeed mercenaries. They will definitely be getting paid for this. They're bounty men. They don't work for free. Four white behemoths trundled up the switchback path, yoked to a sledge. As they drew closer, Marini saw it was a team of tundra bears, dragging a massive load of timber. What was this? Okay. Oh, so I didn't use lumber twice. All day long, the team of bears lumbered up and down the path, 5 trips in total. The bounty hunters later didn't. I hope they are building a wicker man. Oh no. All day long, the team of bears lumbered up and down the path, 5 trips in total. The makeshift. The bounty men worked in the sun as the keep languished beneath the blight of crows. Marini watched the structure take shape with increasing. Marini watched the structure take shape with increasing despair. It was an enormous trebuchet. The next wagon load hauled up a huge boulder. It took 10 men to roll it into the bucket. The next wagon load hauled up a huge boulder. 10 men rolled it into the bucket. There was nothing Marini could do. The erection was well out of arrow range. He didn't have enough men to charge out and battle the bounty hunters, let alone a pack of white bears. Let alone a pack of ferocious white bears. Flinzer stood beside the trebuchet with a wide grin. He caught Marini's spying eye, popped a thumb in his mouth, and held it to the wind. It was too far to hear what he said, but Marini could guess. We'll see. There was only one saving grace, no sign of the giant. Marini would have thought Three-Wolf would come to witness his downfall, but the freak didn't get on well with others. There was only one saving grace, no sign of the giant. Moraine would have thought the giant would come to witness his downfall, but it seemed the freak didn't get on well with others.
Let me see. No, I think erection is the right word there, by the way. Yeah, because that's what they're doing. They're in the middle of erecting this trebuchet. I'm not changing it. It's good. All right, what do we got here?
There was only one saving grace, no sign of Three Wolf. Moraine would have thought the giant would come to witness his downfall. But the hermit hadn't come.
Is it hermitage or hermitude? Um, yeah. All right, so yeah, we're just getting too much.
There was only one saving grace, no Three Wolf. Moraine would have thought the giant would come to witness his downfall. Moraine was surprised the giant hadn't come to witness his downfall, but there was no sign of him. Just as well. Moraine called up his marshal, Leones. Leones was the pudgy and superfluous third son of the Lord of the Vale. Marshal, let me see. I really wish that we had introduced this character earlier, but I'm not going to go all the way back and. Oh, I don't think I can put in. So Marshal actually is the role that would be like second in command here. It would be like a first mate.
There we go. I like useless political appointee.
Morini called up his marshal, Leonis. Leonis was the pudgy and superfluous third-born son of the king of Adder Vale, a useless political appointee.
All right, let's see if we short up that chapter at all, or this paragraph.
Morini called up his marshal, Leonis. Leonis was the pudgy and superfluous third-born son of the...
Oh, that's better. Let's. I will give you a point for it if I get to it.
Morini called up his marshal, Leonis. Leonis was the pudgy and superfluous third-born son of the king. Skywork Keep was usually a quiet post.
Oh, I like this much better.
Skywork Keep was supposed to be a quiet post, the perfect place for a useless political appointee. There was nothing for Leonis to attack. Usually, there was nothing for Leonis to attack besides a second helping of dinner. At this dire hour, not today. At this dire hour, Leonis the Lard was worse than worthless.
Oh, I like this a lot actually. So it went from just being like useless exposition, bogging down our story, to this is kind of funny to me.
Leonis, you are to defend this keep to the last man. We've got to hold them long enough for reinforcements to arrive. I'm going now. Leonis, you are to defend this keep to the last man. We've got to hold them long enough for reinforcements to arrive.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm off to send word to your father. You have the wall, Morini ordered. Leonis' lip trembled as he saluted. A minor blessing, the man-child was too light on logistics to realize the impossibility of the proposal. Aid would not arrive for days. Morini left Leonis to his fate. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, was it? There we go. Cool. So you get two. You're up to 37. Can you make 42 before this is all said and done?
He hurriedly filled a sack with his choicest treasures. Safe.
No one was watching.
Moraine unlocked the iron door and barred it behind him. Safe.
Eh, it'd be cool if he had like a secret key or something like that, but it would break up the action here.
Moraine unlocked the iron door and barred it behind him. Safe, he stuffed a sack with his choicest treasures. At the back of the vault, there was a secret passage, concealed behind the backing of a massive oaken wardrobe. In a peal of groaning joints, Moraine descended. All right, in a peal of groaning joints. In a peal, I don't like peal of groaning joints. Oh, can I say like the rat he was? I mean, it's implied, but the tunnel was choked with roots.
Uh, this is like a Shawshank Redemption style exit here. Mm-hmm. Let's go back and make this guy the king of Adder Vale instead of just the king. King Cresmore. Moss is weak. It's not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We the moss is like growing in the seams there. Let me make sure that door jam is the word that I want. Oh yeah, this is exactly what I want. Cool. I'm gonna give yeah moss makes sense there. But let's see. I'll give you squeal of groaning joints. We didn't accept that one. Yeah, 38 there. Yeah, it's just a point where like we have another iron door, so they have that technology. Let's just make this one iron too. Mossalungus. Oh no, I'm in Seattle. I deal with moss constantly. Oh, I hear you. Yeah, we get like a little mold and stuff here, but it's just not wet enough for moss. Okay, cool. I can tell who's going to be waiting for this asshole. Yes, it's. I mean, how could I not? You know. It's a shame that it's too obvious, but what else are you going to do there? I like the word. I've been trying to work the word effluvia in here for so long. Marini had to crawl through effluvia on his. He retched again and again as he shoved the sack of treasures ahead of him. Plastered with filth, Marini reached the end. The door jamb of the bolt hole was caked with rust. He had to plant his feet against the far wall and shove with all his strength. Have you ever done that? Like, had to, like, shove a door open by planting your feet against the wall? It sucks. Effluvia sounds like a song title by the band Hole. That's also Courtney Love's nickname for her vagina. Yes, it is wretched. You're right. So, there we go. 39. Oh, you're just one away. You can make it to 40. Okay, cool. Oh, god damn it. Don't fucking message me at 9:07. I don't want to work. I want to finish. I'm finishing this story. They can fucking figure it out themselves. Okay. Hold on. Let me sort this out. Annoying. All right. Well, I guess while I'm here, because I'm supposed to be fucking at work right now. Okay, cool. But I'm not going to work. I'm working on this story. Working on a story. Desperate, Marini planted his slimy feet against the rear wall and shoved with all his strength. The door shrieked open and he fell on his face. Marini blinked up, blinded by the light of Adder Vale. Marini crept from the concealing ivy and squinted at the brilliant afternoon. He was alive, truly alive for the first time in decades. Skywork would surely fall, but he was free, as free as the eagle soaring above. As free as the eagle soaring high above. Oh, yeah. It would take the invaders time to conquer Skywork.
It would take the invaders all day to conquer Skywork. Moraine only had to make it to the Scarlet Rill. He could bribe the ferrymen to carry him south to the Denur River. Oh, why did I say Denur? The fuck? Let's do Denier. Denier. He could bribe the ferrymen to carry him south to the Denier River. At some point, the man would let down his guard, and then Moraine could sink a dagger into his back. Oh yeah, I'm not. You're right. I will give you a point just so you can get to 40. But I'm not there yet. Okay. Moraine's mind wheeled as he improvised a plan. Let's see. Wait, did I?
Uh, I don't like wield there. Marini's mind. Let's see. I like pirouetted ahead. Marini's mind pirouetted ahead as he improvised a plan. Oh no, it's just that's just gratuitous. It's stupid. Gratuitously stupid. Okay. Uh, Sniffing at his own stench, Marini staggered into the sun and hurriedly improvised a plan. It would take the invaders all day to conquer Skywark. Moraine only had to make it to the Scarlet Rill. He could bribe the ferryman to carry him south to the Denier River. Oh, I'm giving it to her. Trust me. There we go. At some point, Moraine would repay the favor with a dagger in the back and
At some point, Moraine would when his guard was down, Moraine would repay the favor with a dagger. Okay, and then one more comma. I like that he's plotting like a whole scheme here. All right, so sniffing at his own stench. In fact, he's reeling at his own stench. Reeling at his own stench, Moraine staggered into the sun and hurt. Hmm. He let's see. There we go. Cool. Ooh, shambled. I do like shambled better. Reeling at his own stench, Moraine shambled east. Okay, so I'm going to give you points both for shambled and for scheme, which you were agitating for there. Reeling at his own stench, Moraine shambled east. Though his steps were slow, his mind swiftly spun a scheme. It would take the invaders all day to conquer Skywork. Moraine only had to make it to the Scarlet Rill. The glint of gold would surely overcome his misgivings. Let's see. Two B's. Bub. No. Beta's felt there. The glint of gold. Let's see. All right. Will surely overwhelm any misgivings. There we go. Mm-hmm. Surely assuage any misgiving. Is assuage better? Let's take a gander. The glint of gold would surely defeat any misgivings the man might have. Yeah, I like overcome. And I think you also suggested overcome, so now you're at 19. I says I'm 19. She said, stop lying. I says I am. Go ask your mother. And with your wrinkled pussy, I can't be your lover. Tick tock and you don't stop. Shout out to Slick Rick. It's all because of you. I'm feeling sad and blue. You went away. Now my life is filled with rainy days. I love you so. How much you'll never know. You took your love away from me. Ha 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 ha. All right. All right, what do we got here? Then he could wash off his. No, I don't like wash. Cool. There, he could scrub off this filth and bribe the ferryman to carry him south to the Denair River. The glint of gold would overcome. Alas, he wouldn't have it for long. The moment boatman's guard was down, Moraine would backstab him and dump his body in the Danair. A week downriver would carry Moraine. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if no intention of allowing. We're getting like a little convoluted with this plot, right? Right. Alas, he wouldn't hold it for long. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like that better. Any misgivings the man might have would be swept aside by the glint of gold. Then, the moment his guard was down, Moraine would backstab the boatman, reclaim the bribe, and dump his body in the Denier. A week downriver would carry the stolen boat into Yarly territory. Moraine could book passage on a southerly ship and sail half the arc away. Later, there would be time for revenge. For now, he just had to keep moving. Later, there would be time to plot revenge. I want to call it a filthy sack. Later, there would be time to plot revenge. For now, he just had to reach the rill. Once Moraine was on the boat, no one could catch him. No one could catch him. The filthy sack held riches enough to begin a new life, somewhere far away from this accursed. Reeking sack? I think we used reeking earlier. I like filthy sack a little bit better. Lord Malorn Moraine, a deep voice called down from the trees. Moraine clutched his chest and nearly keeled from fright. The leaves seemed to fold into the very air as Threewolf. The leaves seemed to fold into the very air as Threewolf peeled off his skein of sorcery. The giant's steps startled. The giant's steps began silent and gained weight with each step towards Moraine. The giant's steps began silent and gained weight with each stride towards Moraine, until they rattled in his rotten teeth. Cold blue eyes froze the old man in place. You can't be here. There's no way up the pass. Oh, there we go. Intoned is too much. No. You can't be here, Moraine protests. Skyward Keep guarded the only path to Adder Vale. Oh, I wouldn't let a few mountains come between our friendship. Three Wolf held out huge hands, scored and raw from climbing. Mm-hmm. Oh, I like Squawk there. Yeah, I like that. 20. Oh, you're not getting 11 points for that guy. Let me see here. You can't be here, Moraine squawked. Skyward Keep guarded the only path to Adder Vale. Footpath. Yeah, let's go. Balderdashery protested. Let me see. Intoned is always too much. I think like an instrument can intone. Or if somebody is like, if a priest is reading from the Vulgate or something like that, you could intone. But yeah, like I think it's a goofy word. You can't be here, Moraine squawked. Skyward Keep guarded the only footpath to Adder Vale. Yeah, let's just do footpath. No, I wouldn't let a few mountains come between our friendship. Three Wolf held out huge hands, scored and raw from climbing. The cliffs that flanked the keep were sheer walls of icy stone. Frozen stone, utterly unscalable. Just as the walls of Skywork were unassailable. Just as the secret passage was unknown to all. Moraine jerked his head back at the bolt hole, distraught. Protested was... Wait, where is the other protested? I thought I checked that out. Yeah, I took that... Like, I took out... What protested are we looking at? Right? Still a necessary edit that you haven't made. Yeah, I replaced it with squawked. Oh, you might be desynchronized. Lord only knows. Oh, yeah? Okay, cool. I'm confused there. No, I wouldn't let a few mountains come between our friendship. Three Wolf held out huge hands, scored and raw from climb. They were scored and raw from climbing. The cliffs that flanked the keep were sheer walls of frozen stone, utterly unscalable, just as the walls of Skywork were unassailable, just as the secret passage was unknown to all. Moraine glanced back at the bolt hole, wondering who had betrayed him to Three Wolf. I was here, long before they laid the first stone of that ugly keep. I will remain, comma. When the last brick crumbles, I know all the hidden ways. I knew you'd rabbit, Moraine. How could I let you leave without a chance to settle the score? Here is your bounty, friend. Three Wolf clapped a hand against his chest, solid as a rock. Come and take it. Moraine turned and ran. He didn't get far. The end. All right, there we go. Bam. We did it. It's a good story. I like that old Three Wolf. It was solid as stone. Come and take it. Yeah, what are the it was like moron lab or whatever. I like Flinzer more than Three Wolf, honestly, in this story. He's like much more interesting to me. Yeah, you have to throw up some heavy misdirection because the ending is so obvious to the story, right? I think we have two misdirects towards the very end, and hopefully that's not annoying. All right, let's look at his soliloquy here. I was here long before they laid the first stone of that ugly keep. I will remain when the last brick crumbles. I know all the hidden ways. I knew you'd rabbit. How could you leave without settling the score? Here is your bounty, Moraine. Three Wolf clapped a hand against his chest. He was solid as stone. No, I think we don't need the solid as stone. Come and take it. Moraine turned and ran. He didn't get far. Oh, I like that. I like
like he didn't get far. I like I think it is a symptom of me getting older that I am leaving more to the imagination. Like all the fucking in this story is not laid out. We don't need to get into the gruesome scene of him just hacking Moraine to pieces with his giant magic sword. I like to me the thing that I really liked here was the like as free as the eagle soaring above. Oh, there are just so many callbacks to the beginning of the story that I just love in here. I love that he's like planning to bribe them with the counterfeit, or he's planning to pay the bounty with the counterfeit money. Uh, oh, and all this is stuff that during the initial edit, I went and wrapped all of it back. So, um, let's think about our story here. Honestly, I don't think I might do one more edit on chapter 3. Not today, obviously. I'm fucking tired. But I might edit chapter 3 and like a little bit. I worry a little bit that chapter 1 here is too weak. Oh yeah, it'd be much weaker if we like tore it to bits off screen. Yeah, it's just getting older, learning a little bit as we're doing these edits. So I want to think about whether I need to write like another 1,500 words for a prologue, right? And so I think Bradius, you might have been here for the first chapter or whatever. So we start with the scene on the drawbridge, and then there's a lot of flashing back and backstory on the drawbridge. So my main worry is that we're going to lose a reader because the stakes are not super high, because it really is like 8 pages long of them worry about all the. Well, you should have been here for the entire thing. I'm going to continue just rewriting every morning because I'm just getting more work done on stream, and I have this streaming set up. I might as well use it. I was just being lazy for like a year. All right. Well, I think that is it. Thank you to everybody who participated. Let's look at our final scores here. Make sure you didn't miss any points. Bradius with 40, Milkness with 20. Everybody else with between 1 and 4. Logic did not wake up. Was that work? Well, you just quit your job to full-time be an LRH groupie. No, it's fucking fine. The timing is not going to be perfect for everybody. It's not even perfect for me, but I am trying to get my sleep on schedule. I should be hooked up to the fucking CPAP pretty soon, and hopefully I'll sleep better there. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed the show. I really like how this one turned out. I was like kind of down on it last night, riffing with QPT, because I don't think it's especially sellable, right? I don't think we can sell this story to any kind of magazine. I might take a crack at the magazine of science fiction and fantasy, because they do take novella length works. You know what? I'm gonna also I'll submit it to Uncanny too. Fuck those people. That's a great way to. Well, I say fuck those people because they don't want simultaneous submissions, right? So I'll use another name when I submit to them. Well, I mean, the jig is up now. I'm saying this on a public forum. Yeah, I might just have to stick with the one thing I have, because it really is shorter than a novella should be. But at the same time, like 16,000 words seems about right. I'm glad you stayed to see the end. It was essential. All right, well, thank you for hanging out, Bradius. Your efforts here are much appreciated. And when we complete this work and like put it to print, don't forget to hit me up for your very own Edit Ace hat, for you are truly the editing ace here. Thank you for all your help too, Milkness. As much as I grumbled about all of it, like the work is much better for some of the suggestions that you have done here. And again, we will also get this edited by a professional who will disagree with like all the shit that we have done. But this is the right way to do it to me. All right. Well, I'm going to go celebrate with like a salad. I love salad. I don't know why I would whine like that. And yeah, we did it. So congratulations, everybody. That is 8 days, and we have a better story. Thank you so much. Penis.